I want to talk about how Reesa Teesa's story is teaching us about vocal liberation. What's up, y'all? This is Dani Real, the multidimensional mommy. And how many of you, be honest, how many of you have spent hours of your day keeping up with the Who the Fuck Did I Marry series on TikTok by Reesa Teesa? No shame, no judgment. I watched it too. I couldn't stop. In her story, she talks about how at some point she just felt intuition. She just felt the need to start documenting her thoughts and feelings. She started voice journaling. She calls it audio diary. This is vocal liberation. This is how you start practicing using your voice and putting value to your words and being intentional and impeccable with your word, right? It's through using your voice, even if it's just with yourself. And so she's documenting this process. She also tells us that there were several times when she just had a feeling, and others in her family, other women in her family also had a feeling something wasn't quite right. They're talking about intuition, and I feel like this is a story, this is an epic story of how we as women and femmes sometimes are so disconnected from our intuition because we want the thing that seems so real, and it seems like it's what you want. You know, she wanted marriage, she wanted this beautiful family, and she had this dream, this goal that she was so set on. She was not seeing the warning signs that there was some problematic behaviors in this relationship, right? And she talks a lot about, like, you know, her past self. It sounds like she's done a lot of work. She probably had to, like, forgive herself, and she's showing us her journey. When you are healing your relationship to your voice, you have to go through a process of grieving and forgiving yourself when you didn't listen to your intuition, right? Your intuition is your inner knowing. It's your inner wisdom, your innate energy that tells you what feels right, what feels for you, right? And sometimes when we make decisions or we do things that don't align with our intuition, maybe our intuition says, hey, this doesn't feel good, this isn't a good idea, but we do it anyway. After you do that so many times, it can be really hard to trust yourself. And so part of vocal liberation is healing that experience with your voice, healing those moments when maybe you didn't listen to your own inner voice. As much as I love the cheese man, I see a woman who has healed, has been able to look at her past self with compassion, with love. Even with this man, you know, it sounds like she's done a lot of work to forgive and move on. And now she's telling her story because she can. You know, before, what I'm hearing is that she was doing her audio diaries. She probably listens to them. She probably sees that there's power in her story, which is why now she's telling it, you know? So she's really inspired me, and I'm really excited to share some of my personal stories with y'all. What keeps so many of us from telling our stories is the fear of the feedback we will receive from everyone that hears it. And what Reesa is showing us is that she is being vulnerable. She's been criticized for speaking too slowly and dragging it out, and that's her style. She's creating these, like, they are her diaries. They are her documenting her story. And she's putting them out there for the world to see. To me, I hear her voice journaling. I hear her telling the story like she remembers it, and reflecting and thinking, and you see it in her eyes. You see the way that she speaks. You see the way that she's feeling again what she went through. The amount of courage and bravery that it takes for someone to do this is so profound. And so I just wanted to go into that more and just point that out for anyone interested in checking out the series. I recommend watching it a little faster so you can get through it, you know, sooner, because it is quite a bit of content. It's a 52 episode series, and she takes us through this entire story of how she married a pathological liar, but she takes us from start to finish of, like, how, you know, that happened. We're here to tell our stories and forgive ourselves and inspire others to do the same, to share their stories and find that we have a lot more in common than we think. And if you are somebody that wants to heal your relationship to your voice, I am an embodiment guide. Part of the work that I do is vocal liberation, helping folks really remember and feel into what it feels like to be themselves and to express that in the world, whether it's through the way that you share your story, the way that you use your voice, the way that you express yourself by what you put on your body or what you put in your body, the way you treat yourself, all of those things, and so much more.